The 2025 NHL playoffs, but with alumni teams. The yearly video of the channel where we go ahead and replace every team that made the postseason with their alumni equivalent. In the Western Conference, it will be Vegas and Minnesota, Edmonton and LA, Dallas and Colorado, Winnipeg and St. Louis. And out east, it will be Washington versus Montreal, Carolina and New Jersey, Florida and Tampa, and then Toronto and Ottawa. Surprisingly, the Minnesota Wild are up 3-0 over the Vegas Golden Icons. I really don't know why they even have an alumni team in the roster in NHL 25, but it is what it is. Entering the third period, they will be down by 1 goal. As Max Pacioretty, why is he on the alumni team? He played like, what, 30 games there maybe, if that? Nonetheless, Minnesota trying to sweep Vegas. I mean, the entire hockey world would absolutely love this, but Carpenter's going to score on Backstrom. He's going to tie the game up as we have 5 hard miles to go here in game number 4. Well, here we are in overtime. A potential sweep on the horizon as the Minnesota Wild try to move on to the second round, become the first team in doing so. Here with all the alumni teams in NHL 25 Vegas, they somehow tied the game up late in the third period. All knotted up at 3. As honestly, all it takes is one shot to go in. Nino Niederreiter getting bodied in that corner. Schmidt over to Alex Tuch. Moves it on up to Karlsson. William Karlsson in the inaugural season scored 40 goals for Vegas and then dipped afterwards. Spurgeon gets laid out before he got the puck out. But luckily, Minnesota, they're going to counterattack. Niederreiter losing the puck. This is some sloppy-ass hockey right now. I'm not even going to lie. Is that Thomas Tatar? Vegas Golden Knight legend? Oh my god. Alex Tuch back to Karlsson. Karlsson wiring one, and somehow Nicholas Backstrom is going to cover that puck up. It looked like it was going 5-hole. 4:16 left to go to overtime. We're going to see if the Vegas Golden Knights can force a game number 5, get their first win in the series. We're in Minnesota, so they lost the first 2 on home ice. And it's a 2-on-1 brewing. Jones coming in shot, and Marc-Andre Fleury will make the save. 12:47 left to go. Minnesota's going to win that draw. Back to the point. Schultz over to Hall. Zidlicki rips one on the net, but it's not even going to hit the net as McNabb moves it up to Riley Smith, my bad, over Engelland, walking in, and Backstrom will glove it down and calm the entire crowd down. The computers are so stupid in this game, it's unbelievable, man. Jones into the zone, and there it is. We got a power play for the Minnesota Wild. I hope to God they bury one so I can see all 5 Vegas fans cry in the comments. Actually, there's really only 1 Vegas fan. Actually, no, there's 2 Vegas fans I know. It is now time for Minnesota to cook. They got to score 1. They got to move on to round number 2. A power play is the perfect opportunity at doing so. Haula coming in. Halla's going to take a shot, but it's going to miss the net by wide. Mitchell, he's skating that puck up. Moves up to Granlund. Mikael Granlund coming in the zone. He's going to stride deke, and he's going to lose the puck. Oh my god, the computers are so bad at deking, bro. Absolute cement hands. It's like they're chopping onions down there. Spurgeon, he's going to... Oh my, he got killed. Shot, block shot there. Pominville again. Back to Spurgeon. I don't know why he would take that shot. Pominville goes down low, over to Nino Niederreiter. Niederreiter can't get a shot on net. Can anybody shoot the puck right now for Minnesota? This looks like some weird-ass hockey going on in the NHL. It is definitely outdated. Pominville trying to center that puck. Can't get to his player. Minnesota, they're going to try to keep it in. Can't do so, and we're back to 5-on-5. Schultz the other way. He's entering the zone. Schultz waiting, firing, and is it in? No. Jones behind the net. Back out front. Zidlicki to Schultz, and there it is. He will send the Minnesota Wild off to round number 2 as they are the first team to advance. Obviously, the Edmonton Oilers are a strong favorite to win the Stanley Cup. Their alumni team is absolutely stacked. It is a 1-0 lead entering the third period. LA's actually going to force overtime, but the Oilers, they are going to sweep the Kings off a Wayne Gretzky series-winning goal. Death, taxes, and the Edmonton Oilers beating the LA Kings in the first round of the playoffs. Dallas currently is holding a 3-2 series lead over the Colorado Avalanche. They are up by 1 entering the third period thanks to Nieuwendyk and Turgeon on Patrick Waugh, who is a 96 overall in this game. The highest rated goalie cannot stop a puck right now. Arnett's going to score. It's going to be a 4-2 lead for the Stars, and they are 11 minutes away from beating Colorado just like they did in real life. 5 minutes to go, holding on to a multi-goal advantage. The shots are pretty similar, 33-32, And Dallas, in 6 games, they're going to get it done over the Colorado Avalanche. Washington about to be like, hold up, can I copy your homework? They're up 3-2 over Les Montreal, and they want to move on to the second round of the postseason. A 1-1 tie entering the third. Washington on the power play. Ovi no goal. Ovi's not on this team. What am I saying? As the Montreal Canadiens will take the lead 2-1 despite getting outshot 29-21. They're holding on to a 1-goal advantage in the late stages of the third, and Maurice Richard will end this hockey game, give them the insurance marker they needed, and Montreal will force a Game 7 with the Caps. Florida is arguably the strongest team in real life, but their alumni team, I mean, it is not great whatsoever. Despite the fact they're down 3-2 in the series, they're holding on to a 1-goal advantage over the Tampa Bay Lightning in an elimination game. 3-1 now as Mellanby will score. Mellanby will score on Rolison and then Hall on Roberto Luongo. It is a 1-goal game here in Tampa Bay. Will there be a Game 7 back in Florida? Or are the Tampa Bay Lightning going to have some sort of a comeback in them? Ties it up, and then Olli Jokinen on Rolison with 2 minutes remaining. The Florida Panthers have just forced a Game 7 with their state rivals in Tampa Bay. The Winnipeg Jets trying to do something they couldn't do in real life and end this series in 6 games before they have to go to a Game 7 potentially, and nail overtime in game number 6 between Winnipeg and St. Louis. Will we have a Game 7, or will the Winnipeg Jets in these horrendous jerseys end this series in St. Louis in 6? I mean, Gretzky's going to be out there. You got to watch out for the great one. Backus in the middle. Nice save there by the netminder. Here comes Tkachuk. Keith Tkachuk up to Carlisle. Is that Randy Carlisle over to Howard Chuck? Howard Chuck shot. Nice save by Curtis Joseph. And we are going to have a face-off. Offensive zone face-off for the Winnipeg Jets. They're going to win it. Back to, oh my God, over. Timu finding Howard Chuck. Back to Carlisle. He's going to rip one, but Curtis Joseph, unfazed, will glove that down. 16-11 left to go in this period. David Back is going to win that draw. Former captain, and he drew a penalty as well. St. Louis Blues will be headed to the power play. Brett Hall will rip one, and they're going to get the PP. Dale Howard-Chuck will have an interference call, and he's going to have to head to the sin bin. All right, St. Louis, here is your chance. They're going to lose that draw. Moves up to Steen. 15-10 left to go. Winnipeg's going to dump the puck down, and St. Louis going to have to break out now. Jay Bouwmeester, he's getting bodied in the corner. Keith Tkachuk up to Pronger, over to Gilmore. Here comes Gilmore into the zone. He's going to move it over. Bouwmeester trying to sauce it in the middle. He honestly probably just should have shot that puck if I'm being real. As St. Louis now only has a minute left to go in this power play. In overtime in game number 6. In the middle, Hall waiting. Hall shooting. What a save by the goalie. Keeping the Winnipeg Jets in this game and potentially saving their season. Over Pronger. One-timer. Shanahan couldn't get it to go. Phil Housley trying to chip that puck out. Is he going to? Yes, he moves up to Tkachuk. 30 seconds to go in the penalty kill. Over. Housley. Rebound. Oh my. Joseph somehow managed to find that puck. Chris Pronger. He's going to skate it up. Moves up to Brendan Shanahan. Over to Federico. Federico can't do it. St. Louis Blues definitely struggling to get some offense right now, especially in the offensive zone. They can't even really break out what is going on the boards right now. Housley. He's into the zone getting bodied by Federico. He's going to get bodied. Back is getting bodied, left, right, and center, and we got offside. That is literally the computer AI at its finest, just completely having a mental breakdown. I am praying that we're actually going to get an overtime winner before I hop out. We're only going to do 1 overtime per player, or per franchise, I should say, unless we are in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's a little bit of a different story. McGinnis walking in, and another great save. 10:35 left to go here in overtime. Winnipeg's going to win the draw. Tkachuk moves up to Marios, over to Howard-Chuck. Can Winnipeg get some offense on the board here? Howard-Chuck walking over Solani, trying to tuck it. Nice save there by Joseph. Full pressure by the Jets. Can St. Louis get it out of their zone? McGinnis, they're just going to completely walk out easily. Mullen, cross ice. Oh my God. Can I, you know what? I think I got to remove offsides for the CPU now. They just do it way too often. Way too often. I've quite literally had it up to here. Where is offsides? Delayed, on, off. There we go. I'm going to save the computer my time, and I'm not going to waste it. It is free game. Gary Bettman has just announced mid-period here in overtime. He's sick of seeing all the offsides. The blue line no longer is in existence. Solani in. Nice shot there. Payback moves it back to the point. Marios at the blue line. He's going to rip one. Nice shot block by St. Louis, though. Defensive structure definitely still in place. Solani getting bodied on the boards there by Barron. Over to Sutter. Moves up the wall. Here comes the Blues. Boys trying to get into the zone. He's got 3 Winnipeg players on his ass, so he chips and chases it after. Just chip and chase, but like nobody is forechecking. Like it's unbelievable. King, toe drag release. No release on the play. Here come the Blues. Sutter the other way. Can they get anything going? Oh my God, they can't even complete a pass, dude. 4 minutes to go. King, he's going to lose it. King again, into the middle, Olchuk, I should say. That is Eddie Olchuk, the famous commentator of NBC, who honestly are no longer a thing. Actually, I don't even know. Does Eddie Olchuk still commentate hockey games? I actually don't think Wayne Gretzky is on the St. Louis Blues alumni team anymore. I literally thought he did, but I guess I was wrong. I haven't seen him back. He's trying to rip one. Oh my God, can somebody take a shot on net, please? We got 1:40 left to go before I hop out of this god-awful game. Over to Jokinen. Back to Carlisle. In the middle, Steen. A nice save by Joseph, though. Less than a minute remaining here in overtime. I am praying that we get a winner. Brett Hull into the zone, trying to feed it through to Keith Tkachuk, but it's not going to get there. It has been sloppy hockey back and forth by both teams here in the overtime period. Now over. Carlisle trying to walk in, but he got his ass clotheslined. Winnipeg's hard on the forecheck, but they can't get anything on it. Here comes Jackman the other way. Up to Tkachuk. He's got absolutely no energy. Keith Tkachuk into the zone. Tkachuk, one-timer. What a save by the netminder. 25 seconds to go. I am praying that we get a winner. Domi moves it over. Jokinen shot. Joseph with the save, and he's not even going to risk it. 18 seconds to go. Winnipeg's going to win the draw. That was St. Louis that won the draw. My bad. Here comes Shanahan the other way. Brendan Shanahan over Fedorko. Why? The floaty little backhander, buddy. Fedorko again. Back to the point. Jay Bouwmeester. He's going to lose it. Down low to Fedorko. Fedorko trying to go D to D, and I am thankfully the hell out of here. Winnipeg couldn't get it done, and luckily we got a Game 7 to potentially hop into and have my life ruined yet again. Can the Ottawa Senators finish the job here in game number 6? They're up 3-2 over Toronto, and yes, they will. Sillinger and Marian Hossa both will score on Johnny Bower, as Ottawa gets their first ever playoff victory against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Our first Game 7 of round number 1 will take place between Washington and Montreal, and entering the third period, the Capitals will come out on top. Adam Oates will score on the power play. And the Capitals, they are going to be moving on to round number 2. The battle of the state of Florida here between Tampa Bay and the Florida Panthers. It is a 4-2 lead for the Cats entering the third period. They are going to dominate Tampa Bay 6-2, and they're moving on to round number 2. And then our final Game 7 of the first round. First period, no score. Oh dear God, not again. Second period, it is a 2-2 tie entering the third period. I am praying, absolutely praying. Yes! Chris Pronger, thank you for my suffering, buddy. A 3-2 lead to St. Louis. Can they hold on to it? They don't have playoff hellebug. It's probably honestly a good thing right now. 4-2 lead. Sutter will extend it, and the St. Louis Blues are going to mount a comeback, and they are off to the second round. The playoff matchups are now set. We got Edmonton and Minnesota, Dallas and St. Louis, Washington and Carolina, and then Florida and Ottawa. The final 4 series are finally here. No way the Ottawa Senators are just about to sweep the Florida Panthers. Up 3-0 in their series. They're down 1-0 in game number 4 on home ice, as boys will score on Anton Forsberg. He's going to make it a 1-goal lead for the Florida Panthers, as Ottawa is struggling to find some offense right now. 7 minutes to go here in the third, but Marian Hossa will do it. He will beat my favorite goalie in Bobby Lou. It is a 1-1 tie here in the third, as the Florida Panthers trying to get to overtime. Here we go, another overtime, and I'm praying we actually get a OT hero, because last time we basically just wasted 10 minutes of my life there. Jokinen over Paris, shot, Forsberg with the save. Offensive zone draw for the Panthers. Campbell trying to walk in, doesn't get a shot on net. Here comes the rock star, Danny Heatley himself. Entering the zone, Heatley over, what a pass, Redden. Oh, that is a brutal dude. How are you making that play in overtime when you have a chance to go to the conference finals? Jokinen over, Forsberg's going to cover it up off of a very easy save. 17 minutes to go here in OT. Redden going to move it over to Fisher, up to Heatley. Heatley's going to turn it over. Luckily, I took offsides off so the computers can get back into the zone, and we are probably more likely now to get an OT winner. Fisher coming in for the Ottawa Senators, trying to center that puck out in front. Bouwmeester playing great D, though. Jokinen up to Boys, walking down wide. Boys, he's going to wait for some help. He's going to get laid out there by Phillips. Phillips going to skate the puck up to Marian Hossa. Come on, Ottawa. Can he get on the board here? Fisher stopping up, waiting for some help. Over. Sammy Salo shot. Nice save by the netminder there by Roberto Luongo. They are going to have an edge in goal. Bobby Lou is a legendary goalie, a .920 save percentage for his entire career. Don't ask me how I know that, but I do. Is that David Booth that is skating the puck right now over to Jokinen? He gets body. Booth finding Yandel. Jokinen. Nobody wants to shoot the puck right now. Everybody's absolutely petrified to try to get a goal. It's Chara. He's going to move it up to Kyle Turris. Turris to Solo. Solo! What a save by Bobby Lou. And Florida respond the other way. No, they cannot. Great defending by the Ottawa Senators as they look to go to the conference finals for the first time since 2017. They're entering the zone. Keith Yandel. He's going to get board played himself. Moves it up the wall. Richardson over. Nice shot there, but Roberto Luongo is going to cover it up. Ottawa wins another draw. Richardson over. Back to the winger. Winger trying to go down low. They got full pressure on Florida, and they're trying to move on to round number 2. But again, these computers are very... Oh my God, never mind. Cuddyworth will score, and he will send the Senators off to the conference finals. Just as I spoke, they have done it. They have swept the Florida Panthers in round number 2. St. Louis, low-key, is on a Cinderella run right now. Even without Gretzky, they're up 3-1 over the Dallas Stars, trailing 3-0 in the game, and they got absolutely smacked 6-1 by Dallas. Funny enough, the Hurricanes, they are leading 3-1 over the Washington Capitals, just like in real life. Entering the third period, it's going to be a 1-0 game. I just have to say this right now. Carolina Hurricanes hockey makes me sick to my stomach. You see what I did there? Because they lost 6-2 to the Florida Panthers. Oh, what a fucking shit joke. It is third period time, and already Carolina goes up 2-0. Commandatory. It's like Commander. That's respect. Peter Bondro will make the game a 1-goal affair as it's 2-1 Carolina. Trying to move on to round number 3. The Capitals, they got to keep their season alive. 3 minutes remaining. Can they tie things up? They will not be able to do so, and the Hurricanes will move on. Come on, Edmonton. Up 3-2 over the Minnesota Wild. They are the odds-on favorites to win the Stanley Cup, and they're going to dominate, move on to the conference finals after a 5-2 win. Let me just list off the names that scored in this hockey game. Mark Messier, Wayne Gretzky, Glenn Anderson, Yuri Curry, and Mark Messier again. All legit legends. St. Louis will get yet again another chance to finish off the Dallas Stars in 6 games, but Dallas, are they going to hold on? They will. They will have a Game 7 back in American Airlines Arena. And it's going to be our lone Game 7 of the second round. First period, a 2-2 tie. Second period, a 5-4 lead for the St. Louis Blues. Never mind, Joe Nieuwendyk will tie the game up at 5. We got ourselves a barn burner in game number 7. 6-5 lead to Dallas. Nieuwendyk is going off in the third, channeling his inner Mikko Rantanen. But Unger will tie it up, and then Bouwmeester takes the lead. What the hell is going on in this hockey game? 7-6 in game 7. They tie it up at 7. Ludwig on Curtis Joseph. What a goddamn game we have here. 7-7 in game 7. In overtime, a winner take all. Hall entering the zone. Hall, he goes down low to Tkachuk. Oh my God, Bobby Hall or Brett Hall almost buried it. Why do I keep saying Bobby? I always get them mixed up. I don't know why. Dallas, somehow they clawed back down 3-1 in this series. Oh my God, somebody was gone on a breakaway there. If you just had to fed him, David Backes. That's why you're not the captain anymore, buddy. Mike Modano. Coming up the ice for Dallas. He's going to chip and chase into the zone. Jackman's back for it. Getting board played, though. The Stars trying to create some offense in Winnipeg zone right now. They're grinding, but they're not getting any chances. McGinnis, he moves it up. Over to David Backes into the zone. Getting bodied a little bit. Mike Modano, where are you going, buddy? You're going the wrong way. Up to Lehtinen. Coming up the ice for the Stars. Over to Zubov. Zubov waiting. Zubov firing one. It's going to get deflected, going a little bit wide. Back to the middle again. Backhander doesn't get on net. Dallas is all over the Blues right now. Doug Gilmour, where are you going? He can't go anywhere. Turgeon entering the zone, rings it off the goalpost. Unbelievable. The goaltender had no energy at all. Didn't make the save, but the post was in the right place, right time. We get a delayed penalty by Dallas. They're going to have to head to the PK. All right, St. Louis, this is your opportunity. On the power play in Game 7 overtime. Pronger rips one. Nice save by the goalie. Tkachuk getting... Oh, my God. Tkachuk, are you okay? You're not going to be able to have kids after that one, buddy. Thank God you already have 2. Dallas coming in themselves. They're going to rip a shot on net. They are on the PK right now, so I don't know what they're doing. Another shot, but Curtis Joseph's going to make the save and cover it up. Dallas actually going to get an offensive zone draw on the PK. That's pretty impressive, but unfortunately, St. Louis, they're going to break out immediately. Fedorko over to Backes. David Backes doesn't shoot the puck. I wish I could control both teams and tell them both to shoot it as much as possible. I don't think we'd ever have a long overtime again. Fedorko, save again by the netminder on the power play. St. Louis trying to cook. Here come the Stars the other way. They're moving up the ice. Just dump it in, man. Boys, you guys are killing a penalty right now. Why are you turning the puck over? Backus into the zone, and a nice save by Ed Belfour. 9:22 left to go. Jackman over. Tkachuk. Oh my God, what a save by Belfour. Robbing Keith Tkachuk, keeping Dallas in this series, in this season, and in this game. Can St. Louis bury it again? Can they win the draw? They're going to do it. Backman, Jackman, whoever. Rebound, Keith Tkachuk. Was it back to... Oh my God, what the hell was that, dude? That was awful. Neuendijk the other way. See, the computers would have been offside there and we would have had another goddamn whistle. Thank God I turned it off. Doug Gilmour coming in. Dougie, he's going to stop up. Waiting, finding McGinnis. McGinnis doesn't get a shot on net. Here comes Zubov the other way. We got less than 7 minutes to go here in overtime. Turgeon over. Madano, come on. Send your team to round number 3, Mike. Gilmour, he gets bodied. Jackman over to McGinnis to Tkachuk. Brett Hull into the zone. Brett Hull loses it. McGinnis to Gilmour. Nice save by Belfour. Again, Gilmour. He's going to move it back to the point. Barron walks in. Tkachuk shot again. Dallas's goalie is keeping them alive. 47 shots on net. I mean, 7 goals against is rough. Don't get me wrong. 4:31 left to go in overtime. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to hop out of here, but I can pull the goalie if things go bad. Mullen. Oh my God, Mullen. Where are you going? Here we go. The Dallas Stars. 2-on-1 the other way. Langenbrunner the other way. He's going to shoot, and Joseph is going to make that save. Dallas going to win that draw. Taking a shot. It's going to get blocked. Nice block by the St. Louis defender, as the Blues are just going to easily walk out of their zone right now. Coming in is the Blues. St. Louis overshot, and Ed Belfour yet again, literally standing on his head. Damn near 50 shots on goal, and he saved every single one of them in overtime. 1:49 left to go here in the first overtime frame in Game 7 of the second round, and now the Stars will get their opportunity to head to the power play. 1:21 left to go here in OT. A massive power play for the Stars. Back, here we go. From the blue line, can somebody shoot the puck? Morrow trying to take a short side shot. I don't know what he was thinking there, if I'm being honest. 1:04 left to go here in OT. Come on, Dallas. They lose the draw. That is absolutely horrible. The St. Louis, they're going to clear it out. It doesn't matter, though. They can go right back into the zone. Turgeon, Madano shot, and he can't get it off the ice. A legend, a legit legend, is shooting 5-hole from like 3 miles out. I don't know, man. I might have to hop in here and score myself. I'm getting sick of these computers. I'm getting sick of these goaltenders, honestly, making all these saves. There we go. Face-off one. Full pressure in the offensive zone. Madano spinning. There it is. Shot. Saved by Joseph. Back to the point. Madano's going to miss. Dallas, they got 43 seconds to score a goal. In the middle, Madano again, and Curtis Joseph will glove it down. He's got the balls to play that puck, too. He is not scared of the moment at all. St. Louis, they're going to dump it in deep. 30 seconds to spare here in OT number 1. One final rush for the Dallas Stars. All the way up to Turgeon. Turgeon, back, over, shot, saved by Joseph. Again, there's a rebound. They can't get on it. Unger the other way with 14 to go. Unger into the zone. Unger waiting, firing. Nice save by Belfour. 5 seconds to go, and it looks like we're going to have double overtime in game number 7. Oh my God, did he just ring that off the bar? Here we go. Double overtime in game 7 of round number 2. What on earth? Oh, Madonna walking down Main Street, and finally he ended the series. The Dallas Stars, they are headed to the Western Conference Finals. The Final Four is set. We got Dallas and Edmonton, Carolina and Ottawa. So quite literally, we could have the exact same Final Four as we have in real life if the Florida Panthers did not get their asses swept in round number 2. Dallas right now are riding at an all-time high, up 3-1 over this godly Edmonton Oilers squad. But the Oilers, they will respond by shutting them out 4-0 in game number 5. So there will be a game 6. The 11-3 Senators are up 3-1 over Carolina on an absolute heater here in the postseason, but they're down by 1 entering the third. They tied up though. Marian Hossa on Cam Ward, and all of a sudden we got ourselves a game. Never mind, Kron will score on Anton Forsberg, giving Carolina the lead in the third. Big power play for the Senators. Is it a 5-minute major? Dear God, that lasted for a while. and they will tie it up. Hossa again, the MVP of the postseason potentially. I cannot believe it. I almost hopped into overtime, but Primo scores on Forsberg with 9 seconds remaining to force a game number 6. Game 6 between the Oilers and the Stars. First period, 3-1 lead for Edmonton, 5-1 after 1, and this series is headed to 7. As Ottawa, they try to move on to the Stanley Cup Finals. First period, a 2-1 lead for Carolina. Second period, still a 2-1 hockey game, so it's not out of reach for Ottawa. Obviously, last game didn't go their way, but things could be different here in the third period as Arvidsson will score on Cam Ward, tie the game up at 2. We got 8 minutes remaining in the third period, and Ray Whitney will tie it up, and then Lyles, John Michael Lyles himself, giving the Hurricanes a multi-goal lead. It looks like we are going to have 2 Game 7s. The first Game 7 we have is Oilers versus Stars. First period, oh, this one is over. 4-0 lead for Dallas, 7-3 after 2, and they are off to the Stanley Cup Finals. And now we're going to find out, will it be Carolina or Ottawa playing the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup Finals? 1-1 after 1. Second period, a 3-2 lead for the Sens. Already blew a 3-1 series lead, so they got to get on their high horse. They got to get to work. They got to, kill the clock here in the final 10 minutes. Move on. Do what you have to do. Dig the hell in right the hell now. 3 minutes to go. The Senators, will they hang on and meet the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup Finals? A best of 7 for Lord Stanley. Does it get any better than this? Dallas versus Ottawa. We got ourselves a series all knotted up at 2 apiece. Now becomes a best of 3. Game number 5 in Dallas. First period, a 4-2 lead for the Stars. Second period, it is 5-2. And the Dallas Stars, after stomping Ottawa 8-2 in Game 5, will have the opportunity to win the Stanley Cup in the nation's capital of Ottawa. Here we go. The cup is in the building. First period, a 1-1 tie. Second period, a 2-2 tie as Ottawa, they are playing their hardest right now, but the Stars, they might just be the better team. They are up 3-2 in the third period against a team that, honestly, they dominated the Eastern Conference. They only went to a Game 7 against Carolina. They're down 4-2 in the late stages of this third period. It is not looking good for the Sens. 1:06 left to go in the third here in Ottawa. They're down by 2, trying to tie this game up and head to overtime. They empty their net, though. Uh-oh, no goalie. Mike Modano, you had an empty net to shoot at, buddy. Come on, at least take the shot. Hossa coming the other way. Over Danny Alfredson. Alfie can't bury it. 40 seconds to go here in the third. Danny Heatley tries to go short side in the Rockstar zone, might I add you. Modano, nice play at the line there over to Turgeon. He's got an empty net to shoot it over Modano, and he will bury it. I'm pretty sure that's going to do it. Second of the night for Mr. Mike, as the Dallas Stars will get it done with their alumni team. They dethroned the Edmonton Oilers God Squad. They beat Ottawa in the Stanley Cup Finals, and now they can call themselves Stanley Cup champions. I honestly wouldn't have picked Dallas for an alumni team to go all the way here in the Cup playoffs, but again, the EA Sim engine, you never truly know what is going to happen. As Dallas, they got it done. They were the better team. Brett Hall is going to be the Conn Smythe winner as he scored 22 goals and 43 points. No wonder they went all the way. They had an absolute demon on their squad. The only bad part about it is they're going to have to win it on the road and not on home ice in Dallas, as the Stanley Cup will be raised in the Canadian Tire Center Arena. Unfortunately, it's not for the Ottawa Senators, as Mike Modano will come on up, raise the Stanley Cup, as the Dallas Stars will go all the way with all of the alumni teams in the postseason. Brett Hall was for sure the best player in the postseason, but Joel Nieuwendyk, man, my God, 40 points and 15 goals also for Dallas. They had 2 40-point players on their squad. Wayne Gretzky was very good. We got Modano with 25. Jari Kurri had 22. Morrow, 22. Marian Hossa was huge for the Ottawa Senators. And Ed Bell for a .908 save percentage and 16 wins. Well, that is going to do it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.